Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. This is day 28 of the hashtag Spring Around 22 challenge. Quick recap in case you haven't been following along and this is your first time hearing about this. How was the coma? You've clearly been gone for quite a while. We're 28 days into this and you missed everybody? I hope you're okay, bud. But just so you know, this is a month-long collaborative event between myself and several other crafters. I still have not figured out how many, minus myself. So I will put everybody in the description box below. Lots of cool people making lots of cool things. Follow the hashtag SpringAround22 on Instagram and check out my channel to see the playlist of everybody in the collaboration who has posted. And as a reminder, I will be adding everyone who is making videos on YouTube to that playlist at the end of the month so that we have everybody's cool stuff on there. This is an ephemera challenge where we're using stuff from our stashes, no new stuff, unless it's new in your stash and you've never used it. To make like cool spring themed ephemera based off a prompt list which was posted to my website. The information for that is also down below. You can check that out. You can check out the playlist, see what everybody's made so far. You can craft along with us. My prompt for today, day 28, 4 weeks of this challenge, is daisies. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what I was doing until I started this video. And even then, we're back at half an idea. So this may be 40 minutes. This may be 15. Let's see how we go. What I have so far on my table, because I keep saying this is everything you'll need, and it's not everything you'll need, because I don't know everything I'll need. I have this old piece of music paper that April gave me. I have a book page about daisies, because it's the theme. I have a sheet of yellow dyed paper. It's heavier than copy paper, it feels like, but not by much. I got this from Whimsy Workings. I'm working through it. It's a pretty color yellow. I thought it'd be great. And then I have this little booklet. This is an advent calendar, or it was an advent calendar from Sticky Club that I got for Christmas. And I pulled all the stickers out, put them in a different place to keep them organized. This little book serves no purpose, and the lid has never gone back, like, shut properly. I think, yeah, it's not serving its purpose. So, like, I don't even know what to do with this, but I have 2 of these books because I have a sticker problem. And I just have all these really cool little envelope pouches. And I thought I would use this one in particular because it is a really pretty color of blue, and it's also floral, and it's the first one in there. So they are made to, like, come out as well. They leave you a little bit of extra gap, so you can tear this out or cut it out. We're going to use that. And this is my start. I have kind of an idea. See, like, it overlaps a little bit. So I'm going to trim off the excess. And hopefully not cut into the bag, although that doesn't really matter. It would just determine which way this opens if I cut into the bag. Because I'm not actually making a bag. I'm making a card. And I know you're probably like, but you have a perfectly good little pocket pouch. I don't care. We're making a card. Okay, so we're in voiceover mode because of course this took way longer than I expected. And all you see me doing here is gluing down the little top flap here because, like I said, we're making a card. And then just gluing down a little bit of the stray pieces that didn't stick flat so that we have a nice flat surface to work on. And then I'm going to trim off 3 of the edges so that it actually opens up into a card and doesn't stay as a bag or a fancy pocket. And there we have it. There's a little bit of a card, and I finally figured out when I opened this up how they made the bags for the stickers to go into, because I didn't understand how that had, like, how they had an extra piece. That's not relevant to what we're doing here. I just figured it out and felt pretty, like, impressed with myself for solving a mystery that nobody was asking about. And then here I was trying to decide how I wanted to back the inside, but then I decided that the inside is a really pretty craft color, and I like craft paper as a color, so we're just going to leave it as that. And I'm going to use this yellow dyed paper that I got from Whimsy Workings on Etsy to do something else. So I'm going to cut a strip off. It's like about 2 inches. I think I measured this with my heart. I don't really remember. I do know that I regret not measuring it to start out with because I ended up going back to cut more. And so you can see here I'm trying to like remeasure so that I can cut extra because I don't think it's going to be long enough. It turns out that was wrong. And I didn't need to go back and cut more and make extra, but I did. So, you know, there you have it. Essentially, you want to cut something that's going to be about the length of your final project. Give or take a couple of like centimeters. You don't really need it to be twice as long. I don't know why I felt like it needed to be. But sometimes measuring with your heart just doesn't go the way that you want, you know? Sometimes your heart's wrong. So after we have our strip ready, we're going to fold it. Depending on the shape that you're going to cut out is sort of going to the times that you fold it and how big your fold is going to be. So you're going to have to kind of know what your general final shape is supposed to look like or what size it's supposed to be, and that'll determine how many times you fold it. And you want to keep in mind that 2 of your pieces, the first and the last piece, are going to be stuck down flat to your card. So, you know, don't odd man out, I guess, is the best way to say it. Just be aware. It makes it easier if you kind of have an idea of what you're doing when you start. And here I'm just going to roughly sketch a daisy shape out on this cardstock because this is going to be stuck down to the card. I'm not worried about like the pencil lines or anything showing through because this backside is the part that's going to be stuck to the card. And I'm not trying to be perfect here. I want it to kind of look a little bit rough, a little bit handmade, I guess you could say, for the effect that I'm going for. But if you haven't figured it out, we're making a daisy chain, or a paper daisy chain, to be more precise. And here I'm going to use a nice pair of sharp scissors. Had I actually, I don't know, figured out that I didn't need twice the length, this process would have been so much easier, because I only would have had to cut through one set of folded things, so like 4 folds. But I didn't, so I cut through all 8 folds. I think it's even more than that, to be honest. I think it's like 10, and it was a pain. But just, you know, don't be like me, learn from my mistakes. But also, make sure you have a nice pair of sharp scissors so that you cut through it. And also be aware that you need to make sure that whatever shape you choose to make for your daisy chain, both sides, like it has to touch both sides of your folds. So on one side, your image has to touch the fold, and on the other side, the image has to touch the other fold so that they connect. Otherwise, you're just going to have a bunch of like random floaty pieces that don't match. So keeping that in mind, I proceed to cut out my little daisies. And I'm not super worried about it being perfect because I can always go back and like trim it up later, but I do want the edges to not be so square. With the exception of the ones that are on the fold. Those are going to be a little bit square by default. This is the point where I realized I had way too many daisies for what I needed. But you know, if you were trying to like decorate a space or something, or come up with like a quick party decoration, this would be the fastest way to do it. So you can see I have like 11 million daisies and I only needed 4. No problem, we just trim that off. And then here I'm just going to clean up a little bit of the edging that I didn't like. And essentially I want to make sure that I center the center of the daisy chain with the center fold of my card so that when I close the card it will lay nice and flat inside. But now I'm going to like ink it up around the edges using that Tattered Rose Distress Oxide because I had it on my desk still from the Ladybug project. So it seemed like a good tie-in color. And I'm just going to hit up the edges to give them like some kind of breath of life, a little bit of character. And the paper already has some color to it, but like more color doesn't hurt. And then I'm going to use this gold like paint pen thing from Jane Davenport to add a little gold center so that there's some sparkle. I'm just trying to like up the visual interest so I don't just have like a plain daisy on plain paper. And then I'm just going to use this white Jelly Roll pen to add some highlights, sort of highlight that petal shape so that they look more flower-like. And this turns it from like simple paper into like art journaling mixed media type daisy. It's not super fancy, but it definitely gets the job done. And I really like how they came out. And then I'm just going to glue the first and the last piece down. And like I said, being mindful that the center lines up with the center fold and that the card actually closes properly when I open and close it so that the daisy chain looks appropriate. And then I decided that I would go the whole 9 yards and add a little collage to the front, you know, really like finish up this card element. So I'm gonna roughly tear around the daisy on that daisy page and salvage what I can from it, including those little fancy daisies and the title daisy. And if you're playing the at-home drinking game, you could take a shot for every time I say daisy and tell your boss that it's my fault you missed work tomorrow. And this is always hard for me. Even in the original video before I did the voiceover, I barely talk when I collage, and I don't know what happens, like my brain goes into subspace or something when I'm collaging, and I like can't think of things to say because I'm just so focused on like, I don't know, the like arranging of the pieces. So, like I said, you guys didn't miss anything very interesting because I didn't talk for a big chunk of this video, and then realized afterwards that not only was this video 30 minutes long for no reason, but it was quiet for a big chunk of it. And now here I'm just rambling because I don't have anything to say that's interesting about collaging. Like, I don't have any tips or anything for this one. I think this one's pretty straightforward, but I really like how it came out. I think it's simple, but a little bit not simple. The daisy chain is definitely easy to do. It kind of was a throwback for me. I don't know if you guys did this a lot in like elementary and middle school. I used to make these like kind of chains all the time. Like, who gave me scissors? Why was that like essential school equipment? Because I used to fold up paper and make little people's like chains or little heart chains all the time, like all the time. So it was kind of a fun like throwback to do that for this challenge. And here I have this little like flowery meadow sticker. The flowers are close enough to daisies that I'm pretty comfortable with putting them down. I think they add a little bit to the composition. It's only after I stick this down that I remember that these are like washi style, so I kind of lose a little bit of the color to the background. But that's okay. I'm just going to cover it up with the daisy label anyways. And then I think I'm just adding some strips of this like number punch number washi tape. It's not really washi, from Tim Holtz. And then using some of the small talk stickers to add a little sentiment. And then I cut all the stuff that's hanging over the one, like the folded edge, because that's gonna like impact the opening of the card depending on how I stick it to the page. And then here's where I realized I shouldn't have closed my daisy chain immediately after putting the glue on because it glued to itself. So don't do that either. That's a pro tip. Wait for stuff to dry. And then I'm going to add a little tiny composition to the inside of our little card just to add some more interest, but also... Oops, I meant to show you that, like, all in frame. Easy. There we go. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your face. Even if you didn't, I still appreciate your face. Just, you know, don't tell anybody I said that. Because they should have made it to the end of this video, at least. But I appreciate you guys' support. I hope that you will catch us tomorrow on April's channel. We're in the final stretch. It's the last couple of days. 3 more days after this, and then we're done. We've done the whole entire spring around challenge. So thanks for hanging in, you guys. Happy crafting. Until next time. Bye!